Let's get started. Hi, everyone. I'm Aaron. I'm the co-founder and CEO of Privyr, and I'm here with my colleague Atin today to talk about how to train your meta ads algorithm to generate better, cheaper leads. So if you're here today, you're likely joining because you're probably spending money on meta ads and you may or may not be getting the results that you want, but of course, who's going to say no to better leads or cheaper leads? So let's hop straight into this. All right, so let's get started with some of the problems that you may be facing. A lot of times we hear from our customers that they get poor return on ad spend due to things like, of course, the lead quality is poor. Things like you get leads, but their number's not valid, they don't respond to you, they don't pick up, they don't reply to your message, they're not interested. Oftentimes we get spam or junk leads. And even worse is if you get a very high volume of leads, but all of those leads are low quality. So you spend a lot of time and effort trying to handle poor quality leads that just waste everyone's time. And we've heard from a lot of our customers around the world that this is actually relatively common for social media leads that they think don't have as high intent as leads from other sources. So lead quality obviously is an issue. Even assessing the quality of their leads is an issue. If you have a sales process or a sales team that's separate from a marketing team, marketing is going out designing the campaigns, generating the leads, but they need that feedback from sales on are the leads good, are the leads bad, how's everything going? And this can be a very slow and manual process. So if you're a marketing manager joining us today, you've probably been in the situation where you run a new campaign, you're very excited, you see that leads are coming in, but you're going to your sales team asking for feedback. Are the leads good? How is it going? And a lot of times this can be a slow process. It's not necessarily the sales team's fault. Sometimes you just have a longer sales cycle where you need to wait a week for the lead to show up to a demo, and then maybe several weeks, several months more before a purchase actually happens. So slow and manual feedback cycle. Even if it's a faster cycle, sometimes this feedback can be unreliable or inconsistent. One team member may say that, wow, the leads are really good today. Whatever we're doing, let's do more of it. While on the same week, someone else says, man, my leads are horrible. Let's go back to what we were doing last month. So it's very, very qualitative. It can be very unreliable and inconsistent just to even find out if the leads you're already getting are good or not, especially if you have a sales process and it's not kind of a self-serve checkout. Next is once you know that your leads aren't as good as they should be, trying to optimize your marketing is really a guessing game. It's trial and error. You need to guess what the problem is. You need to tweak that campaign and you need to try again. When you get feedback like, oh, leads this past week weren't really good, you don't really know why they weren't good. So how are you supposed to improve it? It's a lot of guesswork. So every time you try something new, it takes a lot of time and effort. You need to do new targeting. You may have new creative that needs to get created and a lot of other things. And of course, we keep restarting and restarting from scratch. We restart our Facebook learning phases. It's very annoying to see that warning that it's in the learning phase. It's not optimized yet. And if we combine all of these things together, there's many, many other reasons why you may be getting poor return on ad spend, but everything together, it just leads to wasted time, wasted effort, wasted money, and no sense of progress. So what can we do to solve all of this to get you much higher return on ad spend? First thing that we will recommend, and this will be controversial at first, but hear me out, stop optimizing on cost per lead. Now, we know that most advertisers, both beginners as well as advanced, will focus a lot on cost per lead. Why is this? First, we know it's easy to understand, it's easy to measure, it's right there, convenient for you to look at in your Meta Ads Manager, but this can be very misleading, and I'll share why. As we know, not all leads are equal, and just to give you a sense of it, many of us already know that we will target a significantly higher cost per lead on Google ads versus Meta ads, just as an example. Why? Because we feel that the leads that we get from Google are somehow higher quality, they have higher intent compared to lead from social. And that's something that we kind of calibrate internally. But for some reason, even within the same platform, we still look at cost per lead. Now, why is this? First is what we should be doing is focusing on the quality and not the quantity of leads. So let me walk through an example. If you have a $5,000 campaign, and let's pretend that we're an automotive dealership for now, and we have a $5,000 campaign that we want to generate leads that book test drives for our various locations. Okay, so we have two different campaigns that may be running. Both of them have a $5,000 ad spend. Campaign A, we get 100 leads, and campaign B, we got 50 leads. So very simple. Campaign A gave us more leads, and that means there's a cheaper cost per lead, right? $50 per cost per lead for campaign A, $100 cost per lead for campaign B. Now, if I were to just stop here and ask you which campaign is doing better, of course, most of us would say, well, campaign A is getting us more leads. We have a lower cost per lead. Let's do more of campaign A. But I will say today, this is not the complete nor best way to look at it. What we're missing here is the lower funnel events of lead quality. So let's say we're really trying to book a test drive. What we're looking for is which campaign gave us the most test drives, right? A lead, if you don't have any other information, is an initial indicator of value. But as we mentioned before, not all leads are equal. So if we can have visibility down the funnel into how many test drives that we get, then we can see, in this case, even though campaign A gave us more leads, twice as many leads, campaign B actually gave us twice as many test drives. So our cost per test drive for campaign A and B is now flipped. Campaign A gave us a cost of $500 per test drive. Campaign B gave us a cost of $250 per test drive. And we can go as far down the funnel as we want, even go down to purchase and optimize on that. But of course, if it's a long sales cycle, you may not have time to wait for that. So something like a test drive or a meeting booking, a show flat viewing, some deeper indication of interest and qualification, any of those is a much better indicator of lead quality than just getting a lead. So clearly here we can see, based on more information, campaign B is significantly better than campaign A, and that's what we should continue and even continue to optimize further. Okay, so as a summary from this slide, you don't want more leads. And this sounds counterintuitive, but your goal isn't to get more leads, it's to get more test drives or more meeting bookings or more show flat viewings or more appointments or more purchases. Whatever it is you want to optimize, it's rarely leads if you're able to actually have more control. And this is especially so if you are like one of our many of our customers, where you actually have a sales team or a sales process. There is a cost of serving the lead. Now, if you're doing e-commerce, then serving one lead or 100 leads or 1,000 leads doesn't really cost you much because they don't take up your time. They can just self-serve themselves. But if you're an automotive dealer, if you're a real estate agent, if you're selling financial planning or wedding planning or interior design, every lead takes up time. Not only do you need to reach out to them, you need to call them, book a meeting. They may not show up to the meeting. You may have to go and meet them. It sucks up your time and resources. So more leads is not always a good thing. What we really want is the lower level conversions, especially if there's a cost of serving each lead. Now, I know that there's some questions. Please keep the questions coming. I will take a break at the end to go through all those questions. I'll go through the main material first, and then we'll come back. But please keep the questions coming. Thank you so much for those. All right, so let's stop optimizing on cost per lead. But if we stop doing that, what should we optimize on? And this is where we should optimize on the cost per quality lead. Instead of just a lead, define a lower funnel event, such as the number of test drives that you have, the number of show flat viewings, the number of meeting books. This should ideally be something that can happen within a couple of days, ideally not more than a week of the lead being generated. So you don't need to wait months and months before you find out if your leads are good or not. But ideally, if you can find out same day or within a couple of days, then that you can use that as your indicator of what a quality lead is. And without knowing, you may already be thinking about cost per qualified lead. Again, if you're a marketer that works with a sales team, you probably already get feedback from your sales team on how's the lead quality this week, how's it this month, how's the new campaign going. You get some qualitative feedback and then you iterate and improve. And we also know that internally we have this willingness to spend a bit more or less on leads across different channels. So a lead from Google or a lead from a property portal or an automotive portal may be worth more to us than a lead from, let's say, TikTok or just a random inbound WhatsApp campaign. So we're already thinking a little bit of this. How do we do more? First thing we also need to see is that what can Meta do? So just because we're thinking about cost per qualified lead doesn't mean that our Meta ads and algorithms are also thinking about optimizing it there, right? So if you think about it, Meta is very, very powerful. Their algorithm is great. It's one of the best. And obviously it can learn a lot. If you're using Meta, Instagram, any of these platforms, Facebook yourself, you know that they're actually pretty good at surfacing relevant information for us. Their algorithms and machine learning is very strong. Now, they can only optimize on the data that they have. So Meta has the full data on ad impressions, on clicks, on the lead form submissions, because all of this happens on Meta itself. But once a lead is submitted, Meta has no idea what happens. Meta knows who saw your ad, who clicked, who submitted, but they don't know, did they pick up your call? They don't know if the lead responded to your text message. They don't know if the lead booked an appointment. They don't know if the lead showed up to the appointment. So there is a knowledge gap here, and that's because there's no feedback loop to tell Meta's algorithms which leads are good and bad. So if you remember the campaign breakdown that we had before, Meta can't see what happens after the lead is generated. This test drive, cost per test drive, that we find so much more valuable, that completely changed which campaign was good and bad, Meta has no access to because that's happening offline. Okay, so what can we do about this? So the name of the game is training Meta to find you high quality leads. So we need to tell Meta which leads are good for our business. And the lead that's good for my business is different from the lead that's good for your business, is different from the lead that's good from our neighbor's business. So we know which leads are good for our business. We need to train the Meta algorithm. We need to create that feedback loop to let Meta know which leads are good, which leads are bad. We need to send that data back on which lead booked a test drive, which lead showed up to the show flat viewing. And that way, Meta can optimize on finding quality leads. And after we send that data, and I'll show you how to do all of this technically, but once we show and tell Meta which leads are good, we will actually be able to see this setting in your Meta Ads Manager for the performance goal. And this is what we want. Most of your ads by default will be to maximize the number of leads. And if you see this, it's to show your ads to people who are most likely to click and share their contact information with you. That's by default. That's when Meta has no other choice and doesn't know what happens after the lead is generated. Now, a lot of you may not have even seen or may not even be eligible for this previously to maximize the number of conversion leads. And that's really what we want. And a conversion lead is just a quality lead, a lead that has converted to a specific stage, like booking a test drive or showing up to a meeting. So once we start sending metadata on which leads are converting, which leads are high quality, then Meta can actually optimize its campaigns to the people that are most likely to convert based on the data that we're sending back to them. So again, you think about it, Meta gives me 100 leads. Today, if I take all of those leads offline, I call them, I message them, I follow up with them, I meet up in person, Meta has no data. And what can Meta do to improve? It can just find another 100 leads, another 100 leads based on the leads that it already got me. It's not improving. There's no way for it to improve. But if I'm now sending data back to Meta and Meta gives me 100 leads and I say, hey, Meta, thanks for the 100 leads. These are the 20 leads that actually booked a test drive. Help me get more of those. Then Meta will say, okay, great. Thanks for telling me which 20 are good. I will find more like that 20. And then maybe the next 100 leads that it gives me, now there's 30 leads that are better. And then I can tell Meta again, hey, thanks for the 100 leads, but these 30 leads are the ones that actually booked a viewing. And we just repeat and repeat and repeat that process, and Meta gets better at understanding what leads we're looking for, and it stops finding us the bad leads that don't convert, that don't respond, that don't turn into high quality. Okay, so how do we send this conversion data to train Meta's algorithms? I think hopefully by now you understand, at least conceptually, if Meta was a person, you just need to give that feedback, right? If we're not giving them that feedback, they can't improve. But of course, Meta, we can't just talk to Meta. Excuse me. Meta's algorithms are very technical. We need to send the conversion data to their algorithms in a way that they understand. So if you're a marketer or if you've worked in e-commerce, on travel websites or even major websites, you know that what I've talked about is actually very, very common. It's not new. For many, many years, people have been doing this with pixels and events. It's even built into platforms like Shopify, like WordPress, like Wix, excuse me, to send those events back when someone adds something to the cart, when someone checks out, when someone makes a purchase. But how do we do this with offline information? Because what's happening with our leads, if we're taking those leads from lead as ads, is we're doing stuff offline. We're calling them, we're messaging them, we're meeting in person. We need to use this thing called Meta Conversions API, and that's the secret to sending the data back to Meta so that it can optimize. Excuse me. All right, so how do we do this? So Meta Conversions API is an official technology made by Meta itself, and they've done a lot of research into this, and they've seen that when you connect your CRM, your client relationship management platform, to connect your client data with Meta and send this information back, it helps you significantly improve your lead quality and reduce your costs per lead. So out of the studies that they've done, you can see at the bottom for the source, they've seen that on average, this can result in a 15% reduction in cost per quality lead and a 44% increase in the chance of converting a lead to a quality lead. So very, very significant results. And this is all compared to if you were running lead ads with instant forms that are optimized for volume of leads as opposed to quality. And again, optimizing for volume and number of leads is the default setting. So as soon as we start switching to conversion leads, then you should see your numbers improve, both in terms of cost as well as conversion rates. Now, Meta has gone, of course, they love data, so they've done a lot of various case studies. We will share two of them today, and these are the official Meta slides. The first is Mira Clinic. They're a Turkish cosmetic dentistry and plastic surgery clinic. And they wanted to improve their lead quality and cost by using conversion leads and connecting their CRM. So, of course, business objective is to get higher quality leads and to get more sales. And what they did was they used instant forms coupled with conversion leads performance goal and conversions API for CRM. So what were the results? Very significant. They got a 48% higher increase in quality leads generated with conversion leads compared to instant forms. And they also decreased their cost per lead by 36% with conversion leads compared to instant forms. So very significant results by training their Facebook algorithm. Another example is Compare Club. This is professional services in Australia. And what they wanted to do, of course, is to optimize for leads more likely to convert. So they just wanted higher quality leads. And they did this by combining instant forms, lead ads, with conversion leads performance goal and the conversions API for CRM integration. So what do they achieve? They got a 56% lower cost per acquisition compared to a website conversion, a 58% increase in return on ad spend compared to website conversion. They got a 10% lower CPA compared to on-site leads, and these are the Facebook leads. And they also got a 3% increase on ad spend compared to on-site leads. So very good results all around. And there's many, many more case studies if you want to go look into this further. Meta has all of these published. Okay, so how do we even go about this? Now, there's two ways to do it and to do the conversions API. First is to do it yourself, and the second is to do it through a business partner that has already built all the technology. Now, I'll be very transparent. You can do this yourself, but it requires a lot of development, technical development, and up to 3 months of configuration development and setup times. So if you go in and if you're very technical, if you have a large tech team and you want to integrate some proprietary systems that you have that you maybe already have a CRM, you can use your tech team to develop this, and this can take up to 3 months of development, upkeep, maintenance, setup, and configuration. Or of course, you can just use a Meta business partner such as ourselves, such as Privyr, that has already built this and make it as easy for you as possible, not just for the initial setup, but for the ongoing maintenance, for the ongoing upgrading of the systems and the APIs, and make it easy as possible for you. And Meta's data, when they've studied this, shows that advertisers using lead ads achieved a 53% more leads when adopting Conversions API through a partner, a solutions partner, compared to those that didn't do that recently. Okay, so before we go any further, let me just share. I will show you exactly how to set this up on Conversions API with the Privyr app. You can do it yourself. There's a few steps, but you spend about 10 minutes over the course of a few weeks, you'll be able to do it. So we'll walk through that, and you can self-serve it. But if you're generating a large amount of leads, for example, over 200 or 300 leads per month on Meta lead ads, then some additional work could be required. Our team is happy to support you with that. You'll be qualified on the Meta side to be able to configure in a certain way. So if you meet this requirements of getting more than 200 leads a month on Meta lead ads currently, and then you'll be able to get a custom setup. So you can go ahead and scan this QR code to get more assistance on this. Okay, I know there's a lot of questions. Thank you so much for those. We'll get to those at the end. I saw that there was a question about how to get this recording. Yes, it is being recorded. If you're here, that means you registered. We'll be sending this out to all registrants via email within a couple of days. So don't worry if you miss some parts or you want to come back to it. We'll be able to send you this full recording to the email address that you registered for this webinar with. Thanks so much. All right, let's hop in. So we've talked about how to optimize your lead ads and how to do that with Conversions API. Now let me talk about a little bit about Privyr, which is a CRM that helps you implement the API, because you can't just call the APIs and technology yourself. You need to use an app that is able to talk to Meta in the way that you want it to. So leave me a few minutes to talk about Privyr and what we do as a company, and then I'll hop into how do we integrate all of this together with Conversions API and your Meta lead ads. So Privyr, as a company, our job is to help you turn more of your leads into clients from your phone. It goes far beyond your Meta ads, but of course, that's why we're all here today. We're a mobile-first CRM built for high-touch B2C salespeople. So our job is to make it super easy for you to capture, engage, and manage leads right from your phone. So where we really specialize is for sales and marketing professionals who, one, work off their phone as a primary device. Of course, we have a web version, but we're really built for people who are out and about, who are on their phone constantly and need the full functionality and capability on their mobile device. Two, we're built for people who generate leads online as well as offline, especially if you're running Facebook lead ads, if you're generating a lot of these from Meta or your website. We integrate with those perfectly, and all of those integrations are actually built in. Third, and potentially most importantly, we work best with sales and marketing teams who personally contact their leads through channels like WhatsApp, text message, phone calls, or even offline meetings. So if you're having these personal interactions, then you may have found that other CRMs, are a little bit more desktop based. They're a lot more focused on emails back and forth. But if you work on WhatsApp, text message, phone calls, etc., then you probably don't have that perfect solution yet. And that's where we are really, really strong for that type of customer. And last but not least, a lot of our customers are those that have a slightly longer sales cycle. They're very high touch. You follow up multiple times with every lead over several days, several weeks, sometimes even more. To give you a sense of some of the industries that we work the best in, we're trusted by over 500,000 sales professionals and businesses across more than 125 countries. So all of the countries that we saw earlier that this audience is from, we have customers across all of those, and we've helped our customers receive and engage with over 150 million leads. So a lot of data has gone through, a lot of optimizations. That's why we have formal partnerships with Meta as well to push their Conversions API to a much larger audience to let more people take advantage out of better conversions from their ads. So some of the examples that we have here, real estate and automotive, insurance, business coaches, preschool owners, personal trainers, mortgage brokers, wedding planners, interior designers. All of these are examples of our customer base. Again, high touch sales, more B2C, more personal interactions. Okay, and our users are really getting business results. Not only are they using Privyr on a daily basis, but a lot of our customers are reporting up to 5 times improvement in their sales and productivity after adopting Privyr. So here are some of the quotes. I won't go through all of them, but things like profits increasing by 5x, saving tons of hours of manual work every day, every week, seeing your sales team's productivity increase by 300%. It's very simple. It's very powerful. You'll see later Anyone can use it, from large 100-person sales teams to solopreneurs that are running their own business as, let's say, a wedding planner. We're built for all of that. And thank you so much. I see in some of the comments that Privyr is already helping and saving people's ads. So thanks so much for that. Okay, so our job is to help you turn more leads into clients from your phone, and we do that by making it super easy to personally engage your leads, follow up multiple times, and convert them into clients in just a few taps. So there's 3 phases. I won't go too deep, but first phase is capturing leads. So instantly capturing and assigning leads from both online and offline sources. Excuse me. I saw there's a question, are we primarily for lead ads? We work very well with lead ads, but we work across many, many other platforms, your website contact forms. If you have a click to WhatsApp to a WhatsApp business API, even for offline leads, you can use Privyr as well. Once you've captured those leads, we help you engage those leads personally with follow-ups over multiple weeks and multiple months. And last but not least, we help you manage those leads easily, keep track of every lead and interaction as your CRM. Excuse me. All right, let's go a little bit deeper. There's 3 major parts to Privyr. And let me just take a quick drink. There's 3 major parts to Privyr. There's Privyr as a mobile CRM, there's Privyr as lead automation system, and there's Privyr as your sales content hub. So first and foremost, Privyr as a mobile CRM is a way for you to easily manage your leads and clients from your phone. So imagine one place where all of your leads, your clients, your notes, your follow-ups, your sales activities are all there at your fingertips. It can automatically log activities to your client timeline, so you have your whole history of your meetings, your calls, your messages with optional notes, attachments, and geolocation. And of course, you can create custom fields, groups, and filters to organize and engage your clients by stage, by budget, by requirement, by birthday, by whatever metric or dimension that you want to create. We also have automatic follow-up reminders because we know if you're in high touch, you rarely want to message a lead once and give up. Every touch point is an opportunity to, okay, maybe 1 week later, 1 month later, let's keep that ball going to re-engage them. And of course, all this information is synced and accessible across the Privyr mobile app and the desktop web, so you can access across multiple devices. If you have a team, that can all sync across them as well. So that's Privyr as a mobile CRM. Think about it like a supercharged phone book with all of the information about your leads and clients and activities. Next, and this is very important if you're running things like meta lead ads, but again, across all of your different platforms, be it Facebook, TikTok lead ads, LinkedIn lead generation, your WordPress, Wix, all of your different websites, your Google lead forms, your Google Forms even, Zapier, click to WhatsApp. We integrate with all those, and we have a direct connection to all your lead sources. So you can get instant alerts of every lead and do one-touch outreach without needing to type, dial, or save to phone book. So let me just give you a quick example of how this works. So once you've connected your lead sources, every lead that you get across all your sources will go straight into the Privyr app. You'll get an alert. You just tap and you can view all the information that they submitted. So you can see what campaign this is from, what information they submitted, what are their preferences. And then you can select a message template or even have a default as we see here, so that in one tap, you can send an automatically personalized and populated message through WhatsApp. So as soon as you see the lead, just tap send WhatsApp, and this will take you to WhatsApp and send. There's no need to type. There's no need to copy and paste. There's no need to save to your phone book. And I'm just using WhatsApp as an example. We work very well with WhatsApp, but if you're in a country that uses another platform, for example, in North America, more people would use text message, iMessage, then that can be set as your default as well. So everything you see here can work with your other platforms, be it text or iMessage, Telegram, anything else. Okay, and just in case you don't see that lead in time, of course, we know it's very, very important to reach out to leads as quickly as possible. Since we know if the lead has been contacted or not, we will actually, you can set it up to send you automatic reminders if you haven't contacted a lead within 15 minutes. If you haven't contacted a lead within an hour, all this can be automatically sent to you so that you really make sure you get on top of your leads. Because if you're spending all this money on generating leads, it doesn't make sense to keep them waiting. It's fastest fingers first. Let's get that done. And something very exciting, we'll share more about it in a couple of weeks that's coming up, is with the new WhatsApp integrations with our partnership with WhatsApp, we'll even be able to automate some of this further. So when you get a lead, we will automatically send a WhatsApp message from your personal number to the lead without you having to do anything. And that will be coming soon. So that's just a little bit of a preview. Okay, and of course, why we're all here today is on top of receiving your leads, we want to be able to train the meta algorithms. So through Privyr, it's as simple as having a button on every lead that you can click to tell Meta if it's a good lead. Again, we're really made for simplicity. We don't want to force you to create some fancy funnel and then select values and amounts and dollar purchases and percentages. We make it as simple as adding a button to each lead. And if the lead is good, just click the button, the meta conversion lead status, just click it to tell that this is a qualified lead. And that is sufficient information for Facebook to start tuning its algorithms so that the leads that you say are good, the qualified ones, are sent to Facebook for them to find more of, and the ones that you don't mark as qualified, Facebook will know that, okay, these aren't as good of leads. So all that is built into this. We also have automatic lead deduplication if there's duplicate leads based on phone number or email. If you have a team, you can automatically assign or distribute leads based on custom rules so that certain leads go to person A, certain leads go to person B. Maybe you want a round robin distribution. All of that isn't included directly into the Privyr app. Okay, and last but not least, there's Privyr as a CRM, there's Privyr for our lead automations, and then there's also Privyr as a sales content hub. So here's where you can create, send, and track your sales content. As a sales team, you likely have a lot of different templates that you have. When a lead comes in, you send message A. If they respond a certain way, then you send message B. If they're interested, then you send them a brochure of your products and services. After 3 days, you send follow-up A. After 1 week, if they haven't replied, you send follow-up B. All of this can be added to Privyr as customized templates for your introductions, your follow-ups, your meeting reminders, your product brochures. You can go beyond text and create media-rich content from PDF files, from images, your videos, your links and maps, put all of that into a beautiful page or file, and you can tap and send this in one tap. And you can see all this is automatically personalized for your lead. It has your details. If you have a sales team, when I send it from my account, it will say sent from Aaron. From my colleague's account, let's say from Shuni, it will have her name and details at the bottom. All this is done automatically for you. So again, you don't need to type, you don't need to copy and paste, you don't need to keep switching back and forth. We automate all of that for you. And a huge thing is you can actually track views and interests. So if you're sending files, you're sending PDFs, sending other types of media-rich content, you will get alerts when your leads view it down to this specific lead. You can even see how many times they viewed it, how long they spent looking at it, and the whole breakdown of that. So a lot of features. And of course, all this works with WhatsApp, regular WhatsApp, WhatsApp Business, SMS, iMessage, Telegram, email, and any other platform that you use. So we do a lot more than this, but I'll keep on topic. Again, there's Privyr as a CRM, there's Privyr as a lead automation tool, and Privyr as a sales content hub. Although these are three separate things, they're all actually in one app integrated together. So super easy to use for all of these different purposes. Okay, so now let's dive into Privyr and Meta Conversions API. So you know what Conversions API does and how that helps you improve your lead quality and lower your cost per lead. And you know what Privyr does. How do we combine this together so you can get the best results for your ads? Here's how to set up Meta's Conversion API to generate more qualified leads at a lower cost. So again, the whole name of the game is to supercharge your marketing return on ad spend by getting leads from Meta and then using Privyr to send back the data on which leads are good so that Meta can find you more of those leads. And we just repeat that cycle over and over and over so that we keep training and improving the Meta algorithms. And we're the world's only CAPI integrated Conversions API integrated mobile first CRM. And as we saw before, by optimizing your Facebook campaign with offline sales conversions data, this can lead to a 15% reduction in cost per quality lead and a 44% increase in conversion to a quality lead. And as we saw with some of the case studies, some people even achieve much better than this. So how does this work? Traditionally, what would happen is a lead would see your ad and submit their details on your Facebook page or on Instagram. You receive the lead in Privyr, and without Meta Conversions API, even if you're using Privyr but you haven't set this up, the Facebook's knowledge of this about your lead ends. Again, Facebook doesn't know who responded. Facebook doesn't know which lead booked a meeting. Facebook doesn't know which lead made a purchase. So even if you're already using Privyr, what we need to do is we need to set up Meta Conversions API, get that button to click so that we share this information back with Facebook about which leads are good. And Facebook then uses this data to train, to improve, and show our lead ads to more qualified leads. So what is the actual setup process? So there's a lot of steps that I'm going to talk about over the next few minutes, but don't be too scared. We have this all in our help guide, and I'm going to walk through every single step. You can self-serve this as well if your lead volume isn't too high. The total configuration time is less than 10 minutes, but the catch is at the moment, it will have to go through 3 separate phases. So you spend a couple of minutes, wait about a week, couple of more minutes, wait a couple more weeks, and then you do it. That's because Facebook needs time to learn and improve its algorithm based on the data that is sending to you. So there's 3 phases. The first step is just converting Privyr to Meta Conversions API. This is where you link your account. I'll walk you through this. This just takes a couple of minutes. Once you do this, you start sending the lead conversion data. And then we go into step 2. So phase 2 is when we configure a sales funnel. This doesn't take more than 2 to 3 minutes. And once we've done this, Meta will need another few weeks of learning and analysis. It could be a bit faster if you're sending a lot more data. It could be a bit slower if you're not sending that much data to it. And last but not least, after all of this is set up, what we want to do is update our campaigns to run on conversion optimization. That was the screenshot that I shared earlier, where we tell Facebook, hey, stop optimizing on number of leads, start giving me more quality leads. So I'll walk you through each of these steps. So before you get started, there's a few prerequisites. And the good thing is that all of these are fairly easy to do. First thing is, of course, you should have a Facebook account that's running Facebook lead ads. So Facebook account is free. You can create it anytime. I think all of us here probably have at least an account. And then you need to be running Facebook lead ads. Second thing is you need a Meta Pixel set up on your Meta Business Suite under the Meta Manager. I think most of us would have it too. It doesn't take that long to do it. It takes a few minutes. You can get that set up. And last but not least, you need a Privyr account connected to your Facebook account. So you can scan the QR code below to create a free account and get this set up. And then connecting to Facebook takes about 15 seconds to connect to Facebook lead end and start receiving your leads. And then from there, you can proceed to the steps I'm going to talk about. Okay, so phase 1 is where we're connecting Privyr to Meta Conversions API. This just takes a few minutes. What you want to do is go into the web version of Privyr. You need to do this on the web version and not the mobile app. So on the web version of Privyr, log into your Privyr account, click on your photo at the top, and then click on Settings. And then in the left panel, click on Meta Conversion API. And you'll see a button here in the middle that says Login with Facebook, and this will start the connection process. So once you click Login with Facebook under Meta Conversion API, all you really need to do is just keep clicking Continue and Next. That's it. So first you'll be prompted to confirm your Facebook profile, so make sure you're logged into the right Facebook account. Click Continue. It's going to tell you this is going to connect Privyr to Facebook. Click Next. And then here you want to select your business portfolio and the Meta Pixel to use. Most of you may only have one. If you have multiple, then you probably know which one that you want to use already. So this should be populated by default. You can just leave it if you're happy with that and just click Continue. So just leave all the settings, make sure the correct business portfolio and pixel are selected, and click Continue. Last, you'll be asked to allow all the permissions. Of course, various permissions are required for us to be able to access and send this data on your behalf. Just leave everything on. It should be on by default, and click Next. And finally, it'll say you're all set, and click Done. So that is it for phase 1. You just click Connect to Facebook, follow through those steps, and then you should see a screen like this where you can see your Facebook profile, your business manager, your pixel name, everything is set up. By the time that you see this and it shows connected, That's when you know that you've done the initial setup and you can start marking good leads as qualified on the Privyr app and web. So how do you know this has worked? Once you've done this initial step, you will see a new option under every lead that comes from Facebook on both the Privyr mobile app and Privyr web. And this is called Meta Conversion Lead Status. So under your groups, you'll see this new section called Meta Conversion Lead Status. And all you need to do is, if a lead is good, just click on that and mark it as qualified. That's it. So if a lead's good, let's say if a lead is, if we're trying to optimize on test drives and a lead books a test drive, just click on this button and mark it as qualified. And this will automatically send the data back to Meta so that it can optimize it. Now, if you're in a team, all you need to do is your sales team doesn't need to worry about any of the other stuff that we're talking about. You just need to tell your sales team, hey, when a lead books a test drive or shows up to a meeting, when the lead is good, have them click this button, just click this button to tell us that it's good. And that's how you can train your sales team. They really just need to click a button. So continue marking your good leads as qualified, and this will keep sending that data to Meta, right? And what we need to do is we need to send the lead conversion data for 7 days before proceeding to phase 2. So Meta needs 7 days of this data. It doesn't have to be like day after day. It doesn't need to be every day. But let's say you have some leads today, 3 days from now, you have some other leads that you mark as qualified. Total 7 days across any period. That will kick us off and get us to the next phase. Now, some pro tips that my colleague Atin will share in just a few minutes is even when we're at this phase, we can do two more things. First is we can configure our Meta Ads Manager to show the cost per qualified lead, so we know in real time what our cost per, not for lead, but for each qualified lead. And we'll share that in just a few minutes. And the second is that you can also use this qualified lead event to create custom audiences and lookalike audiences for future campaigns. So even if you're just at this phase, you can start doing these two other things before without having to wait. So we'll show you how to do this in just a few minutes. Okay, so once we've connected to Meta Conversions API and start clicking that button to mark leads as qualified, after 7 days of sending lead conversion data, you'll be able to proceed to phase 2. So in phase 2, this is done purely on the Meta Business Suite. So on web, go to your Meta Business Suite under your Events Manager, click on Data Sources, make sure that the correct meta pixel is selected, the one that you've been using. Click on the Settings tab, and then click on Configure Sales Funnel. Okay, don't worry, all of these slides will be made available. The recording, the help guide is all there for you. And this is all linked on the actual setup on web as well, so you have access to all of it. After that, you'll see a few steps. First, you'll be prompted to invite a teammate. Don't worry, just click skip on that. Next, you'll be asked to configure your sales funnel stages. We're only using 2 just to make it super simple. You just add initial lead and qualified lead as positive stages. So you just click the plus button to add to this. So it should look like this top screenshot. And then next, once you click on next, for the optimization target, just uncheck initial lead and check qualified lead, and then click finish. So what we're doing is we're telling Facebook, hey, there's 2 stages that we care about. There's initial lead, and that's automatically sent, and there's qualified lead, which is when you click that button in the Privyr app to tell Meta that it's a qualified lead. And what we're doing here is we're saying we want Meta to optimize not on the initial lead, not on every lead, but only on the qualified lead. So this is where we're doing this initial setup. Okay, so this doesn't take more than a couple of minutes to do, and this is done directly on your Meta Ads Manager, Meta Business Manager. And after that, you just need to wait. So you need to wait a few weeks for Meta to run their analysis on your sales funnel, understand the data that you're sending. You don't need to do anything else. Just keep clicking that qualified lead button on the leads that are good. You don't need to do anything else. Just wait for it. Meta will alert you, or you can go and check, and you will see that there's 2 phases within this. The funnel analysis is where Meta analyzes your Privyr data to confirm that leads are moving through the funnel properly, and this can take up to 3 weeks. And then there's a learning phase, which is where the meta algorithms start to learn and optimize your ads for the best performance. And this can take 2 to 4 weeks for most advertisers. So it may sound like a long time, but there's nothing that you actively need to do here. Just again, keep clicking on the qualified lead button when a lead is good. Okay, now once you've done all of this, you will then be invited to run conversion optimization campaigns. Now you will see a new option when you're setting up your campaigns. Well, when you create a new campaign or when you edit an existing campaign, you will see the thing that I showed earlier. So under your conversion location for instant forms, you will see performance goal. And what we want to do is we want to select maximize number of conversion leads. And this will tell Facebook, hey, for this campaign, don't just get me more leads, get me more conversion leads based on the data that I'm sending to you. And of course, make sure that you select the pixel that we used previously that we trained all of this data on. And once you just do these two things, your ads for your campaign will now use your CRM lead data from Privyr to reach higher quality leads, to get you that conversion, that training, that optimization, and to get you higher lead quality at a lower cost per qualified lead. So as with anything, the more you do it, the more data that you send, the better and better it becomes. So don't worry too much if, after the first week or two, you're not seeing great results. It should not get worse. But over time, the more data that it has, and again, if you're generating hundreds of these every week, then it will actually learn a lot faster. Over time, you will see a significant improvement, as with the case studies that we saw. Okay, and as I mentioned, once you've done all this setup, just keep marking those leads as qualified in Privyr. If you have a sales team, they don't need to worry about anything else. All the sales team needs to do is understand that when a lead is good, click this button. Good lead, click this button to mark as qualified. They don't need to worry about any of this other setup. The setup is more for the marketer to do, or if you're running your own shop, then I guess you have to wear both hats. But once you've done that initial setup, all your sales team needs to do is just click qualified lead, and that will train the meta algorithms once we've done that. Okay, for the bonus tips, let me invite my colleague Atin, who's our marketing manager, to give you 2 tips on what else you can do beyond the campaign optimization. So these are things that you can do. Again, you don't need to wait until the end. Even after that first setup, as soon as you see that button to mark as qualified lead, you'll be able to do this already in your Facebook Ads Manager. All right, I'll hand it off to Atin, and then we'll get to all those questions.
All right. Thank you, Aaron. Okay, so we'll start with the first tip, and that is how to configure Meta Ads Manager to show cost per qualified lead. So we all are familiar with this default view that focuses just on cost per lead and certain vanity metrics that we call them. And from what we learned today, from what Aaron shared, so quality lead is what we should aim for. It's just as same as we are no longer aiming for cheaper clicks. We are aiming for good leads. So now it's not just about cost per lead. Let's take it to the next level and monitor that using our own Meta's ad manager, which we open every day to run these ads. So to do this, there are very easy couple of steps. I'll take you through them one by one. So on next slide, we have step A. That is very simple. Just to create a custom conversion, you have to get into your Meta Business Suite, go to Events Manager, and just click on Custom Conversion, create custom conversions, and you will end up on this screen. Here, you name your custom conversion. So for this particular example, I'm taking an automotive example, okay, calling the custom conversion as quality lead, and I'm assuming the booked a test drive, not just lead. The lead who has booked a test drive is marked as a quality lead for this example. So now we can name it, and we know what the quality lead is for this example. We go further, select the right pixel in data source, and then select the event. We just learned initial lead and qualified lead. So for this example, we are using qualified lead as a event to create this custom conversion, and then we'll just choose a couple of default options and click on create, and that's done. Step A. Now moving on to step B, that is in our familiar space, Ads Manager, just click on columns and customize columns just below that once this pop-up comes, and from there we'll create a custom metric. I'll show you on next slide. Just simply you will end up on customized columns and a list of all the metrics you have in your ad account that will have leads, cost per lead, budget, duration of campaign, reach, impression, so many. But you'll just click on custom, and next to that you'll click on create custom metric, and that's where you'll end up on this screen. It will come as a pop-up, and that's where we configure the custom metric for naming it cost per test drive, let's say. So I want to make calculate cost per test drive. We are already doing it. Advertisers are already doing it, but offline on Excels, on sheets. I want to configure this right now, right here, and take it to the Ads Manager view. So we'll just click on select metric, choose amount spent as a metric, then divide, click on divide icon there, and then choose the custom conversion we just created, that is quality lead, that we know is test drive. So amount spent divided by test drives, that's our cost per test drive. And after that, we just have to click on create metric. Once it's done, you'll come on the previous screen once again. Here we just have to choose these newly created metrics here, and on the right side of this screen you can see there are 9 columns which have been now selected. It's the old columns like cost per leads, lead, amount spent, but now there are 2 more, that is the newly created metrics. So we'll just click on apply here. Once we click on apply, here we are, the new one. Now on the Ads Manager, you can see not only the amount spent or a cost per lead or reach or CPC, but how many quality leads which your team has marked through CRM, and cost per quality lead. That is, in this example, cost per test drive. And every day in your Ads Manager, you will be able to track it. Marketing team will be able to track it without even talking to sales team that, okay, these many quality leads, this campaign is doing good, this campaign is driving more test drives, this campaign is driving cheaper test drives, or this campaign is not performing well. So this same thing can happen on campaign level, it can happen on ad set level, as well as on a creative level. So that helps us removing the creatives that are not working, creating more which are working, but in a new view. That is only possible if we are using Conversions API and then marking quality leads, and we end up with this view. All right, moving on. Okay, so all of us are very familiar with custom audiences and lookalike audiences. We have been doing it. We have been creating custom audiences. We have been creating lookalike audiences for a very long time. But with Conversions API and CRM integration, now we have this opportunity to go a step further. So now the old method was that, okay, you accumulate a lot of test drive data, accumulate a lot of lead data, and then upload them uh, at the end of the month, and then you create an audience, or maybe define certain standard events, and then you create your audience campaigns against those standard events, but not against the qualified lead, which is now possible. So using the qualified lead as a event indicator, you can create a custom audience, you can optimize your campaigns accordingly. So in this uh, slide, we are giving like certain examples. So on custom audience, it's like perfect to build a remarketing pool from existing high quality leads, not all leads, but let's say just high quality leads. And then if your sales cycle is longer, and if you really want to nurture your leads, so that comes idea number one, that it's great for nurturing existing leads. Keep them active in your sales pipeline, keep them hot, keep pushing them further in your sales pipeline. Don't let them slip away. Use trust signals, use case studies, testimonials, or your brand promise if you want to, and keep nurturing the existing leads. After that, the next part is everyone loves, if you have a great customer, you want to sell to them more, you know their purchasing power, you know their behavior, you know how they think, what services and products they have bought from you already. So that gives you an opportunity to use this signal to promote products and services that drive additional revenue in course of next few months, when you have probably already made a sale or you are in process to making a sale. So that's another perk with this. So moving on to next topic, that is lookalike audiences. Again, we all are very familiar. We have done it a lot of times, but here, in context of our lead gen and in context of qualified lead as a fresh indicator, which we now have through Meta Convergence API, lookalike audiences are like real time, eliminate the guesswork while you build audiences for your next campaigns. That could be for maybe uh, let's say scale top of the funnel campaigns, or create efficient brand recall, do a lot more activities with the audience, instead of going old school and making a list and then thinking and guessing that okay, this interest or this behavior will be better for my audience, and then populating that audience, which takes a lot of time, which involves some of the guesswork from our side, that is now eliminated. And then other than that, the next idea is to be ready for any seasonal activity, any let's say weekend sale or a new offer which you want to promote, or any new launch you want a warmed up audience already through your prospecting campaigns, and then generate leads out of them. Uh, this makes a lot of sense. This makes it easy to do it, and based on a very qualified signal, which is quality lead that has been confirmed through an actual meeting with a client by your sales team. All right. That's it from my side.
All right,
Back to
thank
you,
you so
Aaron.
much, Atin. And again, remember these last two things that we showed, um, showing the cost per qualified lead in Meta Ads Manager and creating custom audiences and lookalike audience, only require that first step of connecting to Meta Conversions API and setting qualified lead events. So even if you're not doing the other part, you can do this. Or alternatively, if you just want to get either of these benefits without doing the full conversions, you can do pick and choose what you want to do. All of these can run as well. The main thing is sending this data, the qualified lead data, back to Meta so that you can do all of this other stuff. And of course, it's very useful to you as a business as well to have this nice list of the leads that were good, the leads that booked viewings, the leads that showed up, so that you can do all of this other wonderful things. Okay, great. So that takes us to the end of our main session. I will, of course, stick around and answer some of the questions that have come up in the chat, but that is the full information. If you want more information, if you want to try this out, if you don't have a Privyr account already, you can scan this QR code on the left to create a free account. And if you need a bit more help, we're going to try and answer as many questions that we have here. But if you have a bit more of a complex use case, if you still have questions, please go ahead and scan the QR code on the right to talk to our sales team and product experts who will be able to guide you through and answer any questions that you have. So I'll just leave this up here now and just go through some of the questions that we have. For those that need to hop off, yes, don't worry, there is a replay. This is all being recorded. We will send out the full recording to you to the email address that you registered with. So no worries if you miss some parts or you need to hop off early. So I'll just leave this up here and go through a lot of the questions. Prasad, how to get this presentation, we'll be sending it out to everyone within the next few days to your registered emails. Thanks so much for all the kind words, Javier and Yihui. Let me just go through some of the questions. Olga asks, I've already done the connection to Facebook, but I don't have the new button to have qualified lead. How can I do it now, please? So there's two parts to it. One thing that we didn't mention here was actually the initial connect to Facebook lead ads, which is separate from all of this. So when you first connect to Facebook under your integrations in Privyr, that is what connects your Facebook lead ads to help you receive the leads. What you'll want to do is actually this phase one of going to on Privyr web, going to your profile photo, clicking on settings, clicking on Meta Conversions API, and click login with Facebook. So if you don't see the button to mark a lead as qualified in the Privyr app, this is the step that you need to do phase one. So again, on web, go to your settings, click on your profile, click on settings, click on Meta Conversions API, click on login with Facebook. Just click continue and next, make sure that you select the right portfolio and pixel. And once you've done all of this stuff, you should see that it's connected. And then you will see this conversion lead status on there. So I think for many of you that don't see this, it's likely that you've just connected to Facebook lead ads to receive the leads, to get the alerts, but you haven't done this additional step of connecting to Conversions API. So make sure that you do this. Okay, let me leave back on this. So hopefully that answers your question. If you don't see the button to mark as converted yet, if you still have issues, feel free to just scan the QR code to talk to sales. Let me go through. Does this only work with lead formats? Yes, the thing that we talked about today is specific to Facebook lead ads because that's where the Facebook campaign is linked and we get to feedback that data. I know that there were some other questions. Can I use this for my website leads? Can I use this for other purposes? There are ways to use a version of this with those, but that's a little bit out of scope for today. In short, the thing that we showed in terms of marking Facebook leads to train the algorithm is very specific to Facebook lead ads, Messenger lead ads, Instagram lead ads that come from Meta lead ads specifically because the lead originated from Meta. So Meta has a pool of leads that they're getting data on. If you want to send conversion data from other types of lead sources, for example, click to WhatsApp, offline leads from your website, that can actually be done through a different type of integration that is kind of out of scope for today. But again, if you need to scan and talk to sales, we can walk you through those different processes. I don't want to get too heavy into another direction today. Let me see. Yes, the replay will be sent, the recording will be sent to everyone. Don't worry about it. Can you combine data from two different campaigns or can I see them separate? I believe once you set up in what Atin said with the lead conversion data, you'll be able to see that based on, you want to see by campaign, by ad, all this information, all that will be broken down as you need based on how you want to see it. So Atin, feel free to add on if there's any more. Can you integrate data from your Durable AI website? It is possible. It's a slightly different process than what we covered today. Today was very specific to Facebook lead ads, but there can be a separate process that we can go through. Again, feel free to scan and talk to sales, and we can see how that can work with your website. Next, Rob asks, I have been live with Facebook ads in Privyr for 1 week. have had one lead so far. Will this take me a long time to be able to move to step 2? At the moment, it's showing the qualify button on Privyr. Great, but no options on the Facebook data sources. Yes, if you're receiving one lead a week and that lead may or may not be qualified, it will take a substantial amount of time. There's a minimum of 7 unique days with lead conversions, like qualified leads, to even get to the next phase of it. You can do the additional tips to calculate your cost per lead or create your custom audiences without waiting. But yes, if you have a low volume of leads, one a week, you will unfortunately have to wait a little bit longer. But it's okay. Just keep clicking qualified. That button will be enabled and you'll be able to proceed over time. But yes, I'll be transparent. You will likely need to wait several more weeks for this. Jeremy asks, just to confirm, is this only able to connect to one Facebook business page? So one business page has all the leads? I don't think so. I know there's a way to configure with different pixels and different pages. I don't have the full details here, but if you have a bit more of a complex setup, go ahead and scan and talk to sales, and our experts will be able to kind of see how yours is set up. But I do know that we have customers that have many different pages, many campaigns, even marketing agencies running ads on behalf of their customers that are able to get this set up as needed. Will this also work if I use Privyr with WordPress? So Privyr does connect to websites like WordPress to receive your leads. But again, if you want to use conversion data to improve the campaign performance, that is slightly different from what we covered today, which is more specific to meta conversions, to meta lead ads. There could be a way depending on where you get your leads from, but that one would need a little bit more information. So that one you can go ahead and scan to talk to our product experts. Hector asks, can I tag old leads on Privyr as qualified prior purchases, or has to be on an ongoing campaign? So go ahead. I mean, for all the other benefits, go ahead and just click converted on and qualified on all of the leads, even the old leads. Depending on when you integrated, that data may or may not be used for the actual optimization, because as we know, Facebook actually deletes a lot of the lead data after 90 days. So you can't even download it from Facebook anymore. I'm not sure if they actually keep it on the back end, but it definitely doesn't hurt to at least mark those old leads as converted. At the very least, these other tips of creating an audience, seeing your cost per lead, you'll be able to use even if it isn't directly used for the optimization. But of course, going forward is the most important, where you have the ongoing leads. I think if the lead is relatively fresh, then it should still work, no problem. Somebody asked, can Privyr be integrated to an email sender? So yes, we do have a lot of integrations that can work with Zapier, Make, Tably Connect, and so on and so forth. Depending on which one that you use, you can just message us and we can try and help you out with that. We will be having automations that are built into the platform soon as well, just as a little bit of a preview. Himanshu asks, is this integration compatible for Instagram generated leads as well? Yes. So as long as you're running Facebook lead ads or meta lead ads, which includes leads that go on Facebook, on Instagram, anything that comes to a lead form that goes into your forms library and gets you that alert where they submit their name, phone number, email address, then this will work across all of the meta lead generation and lead ads. Karen asks, how much time is a good amount of time to feed back to Meta from getting the lead to marking them as qualified or not qualified? Honestly, so as of right now, we don't ask you to mark leads as not qualified because we have no idea when a lead is going to go from not qualified to qualified. So don't give up too early. If you know a lead is qualified, within the first 10 minutes, go ahead and mark as qualified. If it takes a week, then as soon as you know that it's qualified, just mark as qualified. So you never have to mark leads as not qualified because, hey, maybe the lead is not qualified today, but tomorrow they're suddenly interested. All you need to do is to mark the leads as qualified, and you don't need to wait any amount of time. As soon as the lead becomes qualified, then go ahead and mark that. So if it's 5 minutes or 5 days or 5 weeks, you can just go ahead and click the qualified button. Desmond asks, can this be set up for multiple meta ad accounts? Yes, it can. Depending on the setup, we'll need a little bit more information on how the different accounts are, the campaigns, the pages, etc., and the pixels. But generally, there should be ways to set this up across your different accounts. Dara asked, can Privyr help boost my page? No, unfortunately, we don't do any of, um, we don't do lead generation for you as a CRM and as a tech platform. Our main job is to give you the platform to house your leads, to receive and contact and protect your leads. And so we've helped our customers receive well over 150 million leads to Privyr. So as part of our policy, we don't do lead generation ourselves. We don't sell leads to you or get involved in that. So to avoid any conflict of interest. So you know that our job is to help you receive, engage, manage your leads, and keep your data safe. So because of that, unfortunately, we don't do any lead generation on your behalf. But of course, you can work with a marketing agency, or we can recommend you people that can do that are very well versed in Privyr as well. Alan asks, where can I tap to give feedback that the lead I've generated has converted instantly or the same day, time or day I receive it, for the purpose of giving the CRM instant feedback to get more. So don't worry too much about clicking the button fast or waiting a certain amount of time. As I mentioned just now, once you know that a lead is good, once they've qualified by whatever metric that you have, again, test drive, meeting booking, showed up, shows high intent. Whenever you get that signal, that's when you can go ahead and click. You don't need to try and do it too fast. You don't need to wait for a certain amount. Just as soon as you know that a lead is good, you can go ahead and click that. You don't need to give yourself too much pressure or wait unnecessarily. Ronak asks, only one metapixel can be connected to Meta Conversions API via the Privyr account. How to solve this when you're running different ads for different categories via Privyr? This is going slightly more technical. I think if you just scan and talk to our sales team, I believe we have solved this before. We should be able to find some sort of solution for you. Valerie asked, do you integrate with Wix? Yes, we integrate with Wix to instantly receive your leads across all your different lead sources, but in terms of for the Meta Conversions API, that's a separate thing. This Meta Conversions API is specifically for leads generated on Meta platforms through the Meta lead ads. Cool. I think this is most of the questions. Sorry, I know we didn't get to all of them, but in the interest of time, I will go. I'll move on. I think there's some at the bottom as well. If you have any questions, again, feel free to just message us or scan the QR code to talk to us. We also have live chat with our team. I did see one message saying that Privyr saved your, what was it? Privyr plus Meta Ads saved my gym. Thanks so much, Hector. That's great to hear. Yeah, looking forward to helping you more and helping other businesses as well. Let me just go to the bottom if there's any new things. Okay, there's a couple ones. I'll take a couple more in the next few minutes, and then we'll go ahead and wrap up the session. Just a second. Can you use on Facebook conversion ads? Yes, so this is specifically for Facebook lead ads, and then you can optimize on the conversion event. Viv says, I'm running ads with location targeting set to Singapore. I'm still getting leads from other countries. Does this mean the leads are unqualified, or is there something wrong with my targeting setup? I believe if you're targeting leads in a specific location, but you're still getting leads from other countries, this shouldn't be related to the qualification process. I think that is probably something wrong with the targeting setup that you'll need to check, and just make sure that it's from the same campaign and everything. That should be very easy to resolve within Meta Ads Manager yourself.
Yes. To add to this, Aaron,
yeah, go ahead.
To add to this is Meta can target people who are in Singapore or visiting in Singapore also. So if there was somebody who was a tourist here, they could see your ad. So you just have to eliminate that setting when selecting location in targeting. Just select people who are living in Singapore. So visitors can get out.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Atin. I learned something new today as well. Vivek Anand, does Privyr support similar support for click to WhatsApp ads? There too, we have Metacopy integration. Does it work only with instant forms? The one that we covered today only works with instant form. That's the Meta CRM Cappy. We are working closely. I was actually just did a talk at the Meta Business Messaging event in Singapore earlier today. Click to WhatsApp ads are looking to also have optimization built into that, and we're working closely with the Meta team to enable that as well. So that's something that will be coming soon, but that process will be different and, from what I hear, significantly easier than what you heard today. But the process in general after setup is the same, where leads that are good, you can just click qualified, and that will train the Meta algorithm. So yes, click to WhatsApp ad optimization is coming soon, both on the WhatsApp side as well as Privyr support for that. Rob says, I'm hoping with time this will give me more leads. Is this something that does happen where it can be slow at first and when you just start? Yes, absolutely. Facebook, like many platforms, really optimizes based on the amount of data that they can get. So if you're just starting out running your first ad or have a low volume, or even using Conversions API, but you don't have a high volume of leads yet, it can take some time to get started. But once it gets rolling, then you should see a lot more compounding. So don't worry if it's slow and steady at first. Over time, we build up that data set and Meta can learn to be better and better. Great. So last few ones. Yes, we will be sending out the recording to everyone. Is it possible to add more than one business to your Privyr? If you're talking about like Meta integrations, yes, depending on how you set up, you can connect to one Facebook account at any given time, but that Facebook account can have access to even hundreds of different pages. That's fine. Desmond asks, how can I unqualify a lead? I think technically there's a way to go in and do that, but honestly, if it's just one lead, I wouldn't worry about it too much. We should be sending sufficient data, and the learning should be robust enough that one data point isn't going to make that much of a difference. So I'm sure that there's a way that you can actually go in and potentially look at the data, but to do that. But honestly, if it's just one lead, I wouldn't worry too much about doing that. Terrence asks, are there any plans to integrate Privyr with Property Guru? I'm assuming you're talking about getting the lead from Property Guru into Privyr. We are trying to have discussions on that. That a direct integration depends very heavily on Property Guru. We do have integrations already to get your Property Guru listings into Privyr as content, as Privyr pages in one click through our Chrome extension. You can Google for under your integrations in Privyr on desktop and import export, or you can just Google for Privyr Property Guru integration, but that's more for the content for your listings. For leads, at the moment, I think what is coming out soon is we will be able to capture the leads directly from your WhatsApp to populate those into Privyr. So you don't, and since Property Guru is click to WhatsApp, and this will work for any click to WhatsApp, be it a car portal, a property portal, website click to WhatsApp's inbound leads, you'll be able to do that. Again, if you're interested in that, you want to get on early and get onto our beta of that, you can go ahead and scan and talk to sales. Last few things for pricing. So we have a free version of it and a free trial with unlimited access for 14 days. After that, the pricing depends on your currency, your location, and that it's best if you go to privyr.com/pricing or just privyr.com and click pricing at the top to see the packages in your local currency, and depending on your team size, the requirements, what tier that you want to have. But we do have a free tier and a free forever plan that you can use as well. Can we use this for lead ads, lead formats? Yes, Privyr works fantastic, and we integrate with almost all lead formats, be it from Meta side, Facebook, Instagram, Google lead form ads, assets, TikTok lead forms, LinkedIn lead gen ads, etc. Alan asks, is this functionality available for the free tier of Privyr? I think Conversions API, because of the integrations, may not be available on the free tier, but it absolutely should be there on the free trial of Privyr. I do think that the Conversions API is part of the pro tiers. Last few questions. Can this be used for Facebook sales conversion campaign? Yes, if you're referring to conversions, lead conversions, and Facebook lead ads, yes, this is exactly what it's built for. Erica asked, when we connect to Meta, should we run a new campaign, or it can work with a running campaign? It can work with a running campaign, no problem. You don't have to start your new campaigns and restart your learning process, you can go ahead and connect it and optimize your existing campaigns. No problem. Great. Thank you so much, everyone. Yes, we know that we covered a lot today. Hopefully it was very valuable to you. All of this is recorded and will be sent to you within the next few days to the email address that you registered for. Thank you so much for joining us. We hope this will really help you generate more qualified Facebook leads with the Meta Conversions API and Privyr. Again, feel free to talk to sales if you need to scan this QR code and send us any emails or go to our support chat if you need anything else. Again, we'll be sending out this recording in full to everyone. Thank you so much, everyone, and have a great evening or day or afternoon, depending on where you are.